If you are looking for high-end decor on a budget, don't pass up on these $1.25 bamboo cutting boards from Dollar Tree. These are perfect for so many uses other than just cutting boards, so you have to pick them up, as well as some other fun cutting board ideas that I know you're gonna love. Please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, and let's jump on into it. The cutting board that I'm going to be using in this craft is the new larger size, and they have got like a little bit bigger than the old style, so I was so excited about that. I am pairing it with one of these signs that I got last year for $1.25, but I'm sure if this was at the Dollar Tree right now, they're gonna like increase the price like they are doing on so many things, which stinks, but things just like the cutting board are staying at the $1.25 price point, and you can order these in bulk online, so we can still craft with some of the more inexpensive pieces. So I'm going to make this a gorgeous sign. All you need is a larger sign. They have the plain natural wood ones if that's what you like, or just paint over anything that you already have or thrift something. I put some of this peel and stick wood pattern down just to make sure it has a lot of texture and detail, and then I stuck the rope around it because I didn't get it cut perfect to size. That's going to hide all the imperfections. And then for the cutting board, I thought I was going to do good by adding a little bit of dry brushing on it. I didn't love how splotchy it was, so I ended up sanding over it to kind of blend it in a little bit more. It turns out looking good at the end, so bear with me. Added a couple of little tower blocks to the back, so this is elevated, and then just had fun decorating the front. Now this little pumpkin hanger did go up. You can see they're starting to put the red stickers over the price, but I still have a craft room full of supplies, so I know it's going to be confusing for a while. All of my ribbon and stuff like that usually still has the $1.25 stickers on it, so just you'll have to check your store, or you can check online at dollartree.com and see like the real prices. Even when you're in the store, it's still confusing. Some things say $1.50 underneath or the red sticker on there, and then when you get to the register, you're not sure what they're going to ring up for. So I know it's going to be a little bit weird probably for the next few months until they get all of this straightened out. But for this sign, I just stuck that little white pumpkin right on the cutting board. I added some little thumbtacks to the corners. I feel like that gives it more of a high-end look when you add the hardware. And then using some of these pressed flowers, I have some in these fun fall colors, but I'll link some down below if you're interested. And then I should have done this before I glued down the pumpkin, but I went ahead and just added these around just to add in extra detail. And then I love the new like beige gingham ribbon that they've been putting out. They have so many pretty ribbons. So I just stuck a little bow on the pumpkin, but I think this looks so fun. It has so many things going on, so much detail, and I just feel like it's really gorgeous. This is budget friendly, something that you would pay a lot for if you were going to purchase it at a home goods store, but still turned out really good and definitely my style. Okay, so for this project, I'm using 2 of the bamboo cutting boards and then pairing them with some of these Hobby Lobby wooden beads. Now, if you can't find the cutting boards at your Dollar Tree, because I know a while back people were struggling to find them, you can just use 2 thin pieces of wood. I've made something similar with just wood and not using the bamboo cutting boards, but I feel like these just have more of a finished, polished look. You don't even have to paint them, stain them. They look good, natural, just as they are, so we can really dress them up very quickly. So for this, I am taking these Hobby Lobby beads. I just love these because of the color. Now this is a project from the front. It's going to look like a little bit more plain, but you can set it like on an entryway table or somewhere where you can kind of like angle it, and you're going to be able to see those gorgeous beads from the sides. I loved how this looks. I was really regretting that I didn't turn this into a riser, so I tried to make one in the next project, but for this one, I go ahead and I found this little pack of it was called like napkin words or something. You're supposed to put them on your plate settings, but it was really inexpensive for a pack of wooden words from Hobby Lobby, so I grabbed those, as well as my favorite floral pieces. Now, a lot of Dollar Tree's florals are $1.75 right now. They have a new $3 floral pick that I feel like is way more worth the money. You're getting a lot more floral pieces on it, but still, some of my favorites I don't care to go ahead and spend on, like these orange eucalyptus leaves are way more expensive at other stores, as well as the little picks that have the berries, pine cones, pumpkins, leaves on them. I feel like there's just so much going on, but just pick out florals that you already have or get them on clearance after season and save them. But I feel like this is a really fun piece, so much detail. Like I said, you could angle this so that all the beads would show up, but a really fun piece to put together. Alright, and then I had to go ahead and duplicate this, so I'm making another one that I can use as a riser because I love that so much, and even placing them together to how they coordinate would look really good. For this one, I just kind of do the same pattern with the beads all the way around. You just want to be careful when you're making the riser to not add too much hot glue because it makes it look cheap when the hot glue is oozing out of the edges. So you just want to apply a little bit to the top and the bottoms, and then I feel like this needed some little legs, so I used a different type of beads so it wouldn't kind of clash with the beads in the middle of it. I used these really small, just natural beads, put them on the bottom, and this looks so cute. I think it'll be so fun to place on my island. I decorated up with some fall things that I had, but I love that pop of color. And then I wanted to make this video a huge cutting board video, and it's not realistic to me to just use the small bamboo ones because in reality I shop at Walmart and the thrift store, and I'm always coming across these large cutting boards. I call them more like real decorative cutting boards because they have the little hanger at the top or the little handle at the top, and I feel like those are so much nicer for decor in your kitchen area. So I wanted to take one of Dollar Tree's calendars. I know we used to craft with calendars all the time. So when I was in there, I saw some 2026 calendars that I had to grab, and I checked out the fall artwork on it, and it was this gorgeous Hello Fall with the pumpkins at the bottom, and I knew this would be perfect for this project. So a lot of people struggle with the calendar lines showing up whenever they Mod Podge down this, so I wanted to share with you what you can do. Just paint the back black. That is going to camouflage all of those calendar lines and numbers. Nothing's going to show through. It does wrinkle the paper a little bit, but I'm not even worried about it. I'm going to be coating this entire thing with some glue because I want it to intentionally look shiny and not just have the calendar shininess to it, if that makes sense. So I go ahead, Mod Podge this down. I do wrap it around the sides, and it does wrinkle a tiny bit, but you want to try to smooth it out as much as possible, and then we'll finish on the next step. Now you can kind of see what I mean. It's got a few wrinkles in it, and if I left this as is, I feel like it gives it more of like a cheap look to it. You can tell that I Mod Podge paper to it. So a really fun way to disguise that and cover it up is to actually tape off the paper part, because I want the wood to look really natural and not shiny either or see brush strokes. And then just take some clear Elmer's glue, and this is going to kind of act as our epoxy over the top. It's going to give it a nice thick clear coating, so everything's going to look intentional, and like the shininess will be like so much better, if that makes any sense. It'll look like it has a resin top on it versus just shiny paper. I feel like it looks way better, so I don't mind to take the time to do it. I let this dry overnight. You can do 2 coats if you want to, but I feel like it gives it such a better look. This looks so nice. No one's ever going to know that you used a calendar to decorate your kitchen. And this is a really fun hack if you have some cutting boards that you don't really want to paint on or mess up. You can actually hack them and decorate them up for each season without ruining your original piece. Now this cutting board is one of my favorites. It's from Ross. I think it was like $7.99, very inexpensive. I love shopping at Ross for home decor, but a really fun way to transform this without messing up the original piece and having to collect a huge cutting board for every season and try to store them is to actually grab one of the small bamboo cutting boards, decorate it, and then attach it to the larger one. So you'll see what I'm talking about. For this one, I'm taking another one of those wooden words that I had from before, and then I'm Mod Podging down this napkin. Now, whenever you Mod Podge down a napkin, it gets, or most of the time, it gets like this translucent effect, and it looks really cool. So it almost turns clear to look like the design is on the wood. So you go ahead, attach the napkin, I brush it down with a paintbrush, and apply another layer right on top. Let this completely dry, and then finish decorating it. So it has a few white places where the Mod Podge is either still wet underneath or the napkin didn't get completely saturated, but for the most part you can see that you can see the wood through the napkin, and I love this. I'm not sure if every napkin would do this, I guess as long as it was really thin, but just love that effect. I glued down the ribbon around the back of it so it's not going to have any raw edges. And then I'm adding a little matching bow to the front. I've been using this little beige gingham pattern on everything. It just screams fall to me. It's perfect neutral so that you're not overwhelming the project, but still adds extra detail. I just love it. Go ahead, finish this up, and then I end up attaching the small cutting board to the larger one just with some painter's tape that I doubled over, but you could use command strips. So gorgeous, and the perfect way to dress up so many things in your kitchen without having to ruin the original piece. Alright, so these thin little pieces from Dollar Tree are very flimsy and are not very sturdy, so you can't always trust that they're not going to crack and break. So I love to stack them up on one another just to make a more sturdy piece. I have done this with the little wooden pumpkin cutouts and made a gorgeous pumpkin cutting board before in the past, so I had to try to do this with the actual cutting board shape. I end up using 3 of these, but I think you could get away with just using 2 of them. Go ahead, just hot glue them together, stack them, or use any wood glue or your favorite glue. Press them together as tight as you can. And then the real hack here is to take some wood filler. This was getting old and I couldn't get it to get out of the little nozzle, so I just cut the back of it because it was going bad anyways to use it up. But I go ahead, grab some wood filler, and then just press it down into the edges. So this is going to appear like it's a solid piece. No one's going to know that we pressed like 3 of these together. You'll just want to sand away any of the excess wood filler that was on the front so you don't have any globs on the edges. I am using my favorite Western Oak stain. Go ahead and just apply a thick coat to this and then wipe off any excess, and you're ready to start decorating it. I know sometimes round signs like this can be hard to get the painter's tape even, so I put that little ruler there as straight as I could and just kind of use it as a guide. Make sure that you get the edges the same distance apart, because I wanted to paint a black chalkboard line that I could write on or put something on. I decided instead of just writing it, because I don't love my handwriting, I just put another one of those little wood words in the middle. But you definitely could leave this open just to be a chalkboard. Just use like a little chalk writer. Dollar Tree sells some really good ones. You could wipe it away. But for this, I go ahead and just make it a permanent sign. I put the grateful down, added a few of my favorite little mini sunflowers to the top, and dressed this up perfect for the kitchen area. Okay, so this is a little decor cutting board that I found at the Dollar General. It was only $3 and I got it on sale. I love to grab these when they have them. I've created a couple of different projects out of them, but it's so great to check the Dollar General because they still have inexpensive pieces that you can grab and make over. For this one, I thought it would be fun to paint the entire thing black, leave the wood on the edges, and then add some flowers to the front. You don't always have to add a ton of of words or have like a cutting machine or anything to cut out different fonts, all you have to do is add some floral to it and it will look so good. So for this, I painted a layer of black and then went in with some florals. This little floral wall piece that I'm placing the flowers in was from Dollar Tree as well, but it's something I've had on hand for a while. But if you can't find that, in the past I have cut little flower pots, like little plastic flower pots, in half, so any container would work. But this looks so good put together. I added a little bow and love the finishing touch. And then the cutest way that you can dress up one of these cutting boards is to turn it into a scarecrow. Walmart has these natural wooden cutting boards for about $6, and I feel like that is such a steal. It's really thick, sturdy, and ready to craft. All I'm doing is taking a jumbo popsicle stick and using that as a hat brim because I want to add some little raffia to this piece. And when I say that, sometimes I just use the little Hawaiian skirts at Dollar Tree, or you can buy real raffia at the craft store. But for this, just painted the top of the cutting board brown, added a little face with a Sharpie marker. I think the little X's just top it off and make it look like a real scarecrow. Made some little eyes and the cutest nose. I always struggle to get the eyes really even, and I've learned a hack. If you actually like take a small piece of paper and cut it out, then just trace them on both sides to get them even without having to worry about it being symmetrical. I added the little white dots in the eyes to really make them pop, the little orange nose. For this, I just cut a little bit of the raffia to give him some hair on both sides. It dresses it up so much more. So not only is the popsicle stick acting as a little hat brim, it also helps to hold all of that raffia down in place because a lot of it will be loose on the top. I cut it shorter in the front so it had some little bangs. I keep saying he, but I clearly end up turning this into a little girl, adding some pigtails with some ribbon on the edges. I thought it was so cute. It also was going to control that from not going everywhere. I added a little ribbon to the top, but this is so adorable. One of my favorite pieces to get out from year to year. And then Dollar Tree constantly puts out these little cutting board signs, and you can flip them over and use them as well. You don't have to look for an expensive cutting board. So for this one, I'm just using the MDF side where it doesn't have all of that glitter, or you could take the time to sand it down. And then I'm just going over it with some white paint, intentionally leaving some of the MDF color showing through so that it looks a little bit more rustic. I let that completely dry, and then a really fun hack is if you take a ruler and I wanted up and down lines, you just fold a piece of sandpaper in half and then just sand it on both sides of the ruler. You get these gorgeous lines without having to draw them on or paint them to look like wood. This is a really great way to get it to look a lot like nicer of a piece, a little bit more high-end and rustic, without worrying about all the work and fuss about making it look real. So for this, I found these leather pieces at the Dollar Tree a while back, but you definitely can just use the wooden pieces that they have out at Dollar General or Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby, and then adding a recipe to the bottom. This is so easy and fast to put together. I love putting like an apple pie recipe or a pumpkin pie recipe to go with this season. Added some of those little sunflowers to the top, and another fun way to dress it up, make it useful. This would also be a great gift idea. Thank you all so much for checking out today's video. Please leave me a big thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy crafting! Bye!